What's up, guys? Back in me today. We got Smallville Season 1, Episode 10, Shimmer. Okay, so yeah. Recap. Sam Phelan. He was a bad guy who blackmailed Clark into doing stuff for him, but when Clark double crossed him, he sent Jonathan to prison. And yeah. And Jonathan was eventually let out. But yeah. And Clark double crossed him again, and he got shot by police. Phelan got shot by police. So yeah, and on the Lana and Chloe front, Principal Kwan, who was not seen since season 1, episode 3, Hothead, found out that Chloe was, writing about meteor rocks and didn't want her to. So he fired her and allowed Lana as the editor because he liked Lana's passion. And this kind of put a strain on Chloe and Lana's relationship, and when Clark tried to defend Lana, Chloe said that Clark is always objectable in all things Lana, and Chloe eventually got her job back. By saying that she only writes things that she can prove. Lex, he met one of his old friends named Victoria Hardwick, Victoria Hardwick. And he also now wants to know who was that blur that he saw in the security tape. Okay, so this episode starts off at school at Smallville High, where Clark and Lana volunteering for the blood drive, and then we see this girl whose named Amy, and she has a really obsession. She has a real love for Lex, and when a guy named Troy bugs her about it, an invisible force attacks him, and Amy's family lives next to the Luthers, and they're only supposed to help them, but they're not they may live next to the Luther estate, but they don't live in the Luther world. But Amy, since she's very obsessed with Lex, she doesn't listen, and she doesn't like Victoria at all. Thinks that Victoria is the one in the way, and so and Clark, Lana just wants him to take his blood, but Clark's like, I'm afraid. Clark's excuse is that he's afraid of needles. Clark says he's afraid of needles. So So Clark and Lex are hanging out with each other when. Actually, Clark, when an invisible force knocks down the flowers that Lex gave to when Clark gave to Lex when Lex mentions Victoria, and so the invisible force also tries to drown Victoria. So the perpetrator of the episode was kind of leaning to Amy, because one, she doesn't like Victoria. Two, she's very obsessed with Lex. And Lana, I meant Chloe, and actually there's also something going on with Whitney in this episode, and it's revealed that his father is very sick, and he needs medication for some reason, and Whitney has medication. So, and Clark goes to Clark and Lana almost kiss, but Nell interrupts it by saying, "Hey Clark, what time is it?" He's like, "It's late," so he leaves. But he also tells Whitney that, "Hey, Lana's a nice, Lana's nice, and you shouldn't give up on her. Clark may like Lana. He loves her, but he doesn't want to. I know what Clark's trying to do. He doesn't want to get. Lana has proven time and time again that she loves Whitney. So she doesn't want to get in like Clark. She doesn't want to get in the way of. Clark doesn't want. Clark was just trying to fix their relationship, and yeah, and Clark kind of feels bad, but then Lex is like, Clark's talking to Lex, and he's like, "What would you do, Lex?" And Lex is like, "Oh, I'd go for the girl, but I like you, Clark, because you don't do that." That's when Amy, who has Lex's watch, shows up, and yeah, and Clark's like, "Hey." Clark says off screen that she has the watch that you wanted. So yeah, so they go to Amy's house, and he's like, and he's like, and Amy's mom is like, we didn't know that Amy had a shrine to you. So and he's like, we will do anything. And he's like, Amy needs some help. So you guys should leave. So for your own protection, you guys should leave Luther Mansion tonight. So yeah, they leave. They all leave, but then Lex is knocked out by a mysterious intruder. Mysterious, and Clark is like, Chloe's like, Clark, the blood doesn't. I tested the blood, but it doesn't belong to Amy. It belongs to Jeff, her brother. So Jeff is the one who attacked Victoria, attacked Troy, and he knocked out Lex. So, yeah, and the actor who plays him also played Sand Demon on The Flash in season 2, which I think was pretty interesting. So yeah, so he starts interrogating Lex, saying, "Hey Lex, how could you do?" Jeff starts saying, "Hey Lex, how could you do this? Amy was in love with you, and you just sent her away." And he's like, "She loved you," and he's like, "That love could send me to prison, Jeff." And yeah, but Clark's able to save him, and he puts paint on him, which yeah, and like after it's over, Clark's like, "What's gonna happen to Jeff?" And he's like, "Tons of therapy, a lot of therapy for Jeff." So yeah, and then at the end of the episode, Clark sees Lana and Whitney hugging and reconciling, and that's how the episode ends. Okay, so Shimmer was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed Shimmer. It was a very good episode. Yeah. So, it was a very good episode. Jeff, he was very crazy. I guess he wanted his sister to be happy, but who's played by Azure Sky, Amy's played by Azure Sky, who would eventually go on to play Darla on Riverdale for one season 2 and 3, I think. Yeah, 2 seasons. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway. Anyway, yeah, she wasn't. She was just, in love with Lex, and she thought that Lex would feel the same way, but obviously he doesn't, because Lex is 21, obviously, because he was 9 in the 18. He was 9 in the 80s flashback to the first episode, so obviously he's 21, and she's obviously between 13 and 14 or 15 and 16, so he can't date her if she was like 21, obviously, but she's not, so he can't, or he'd go to prison, which he doesn't want. So yeah, Clark, I get what he's trying to do in this episode. He was trying to help Whitney out by pretending, by giving him advice on Lana, but he also didn't want to ruin the Lana and Whitney relationship. I get what he was trying to do, and I kind of like how Lex said to Clark that if Lex was there, he would have taken the girl. Like if Lex would have done Lex had a girl, he would have just took them. But he would just date the girl. But he likes Clark because Clark doesn't do that. So yeah, and Chloe. She was very good in this episode. She helped Clark. So I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next Smallville.